My name is James Williams Jr. This is my last video for the night. I'm going to snack on some Doritos and go to hell to sleep. So, I want to talk to you people about racism. I just did a video. I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for it. So, I'm going to lay all my cards out on the line. I'm going to talk about racism now. I'm going to go 1000% all about racism. In the closet racist, people who are secretly racist and don't know it. I'm laying it all on the table right now. Because of the things I said, the things I do, and the people I may have offended, or the people that I'm going to offend with this video, please have your children leave the room. I will do my best to try to keep it PG-13, but y'all know me. I'm lucky if I get a rated R on anything that I say. I'm always NC-17, so it doesn't really matter what flies out my mouth, because I'm going to give you 1000% of the truth. Alright, so let us begin by me first standing up. I actually do have to do another video. It's a thank you video to Zippo. I will do that after this. But anyway, my name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Epic number 2. These are my dog tags. I put them on every day as a reminder of all my black, white, Asian, Native Americans who are still Asian, and Mexicans who are still Native American, who are still Asians and just don't know it, and everybody else under the sun who is bleeding right now for this country, who's dying for this country, who has volunteered to serve against foreign and domestic terrorism the way I wish I was still doing right now. Now, as a failed soldier, and yeah, I failed, I earned these though. I failed. This scar on my ass proves that I've earned these damn things day in and day out. And if you haven't seen the scar, there's a picture of me somewhere on Facebook with the scar on my ass. Because I was being all I could be. And then I fell in a hole and ruined my career before it could begin. I'm still a veteran. And on behalf of most veterans will tell you, when we put on this damn green, everybody, no matter your color, no matter your creed, no matter your religion, no matter what you come from, whether you came from the streets, or you came from the primpy, proper neighborhood where you talk exceptionally well, we are all brothers and sisters at arms. Now, let me drop this knowledge on racism, because racism don't discriminate. For every person that is white that is a racist, there is just as many blacks and Asians and Native Americans that are racist. No matter what country you're in, no matter where you are from, they're all racist. Now let me explain that, because unfortunately, this country here in America, we are the most racist asshats that ever existed. Whenever I go to Canada, I've never been called a nigger. I've never been called the half-breed. I've never been called chief. But here, all my life, I've been one of those three things. I've been a spick. I've been a slope. I've been a slant eye. I've been a gook. Because of my Native American heritage, most people have no clue of what I truly am. So my birth certificate says Negro because in the 70s, they didn't have other as a category. I think that came in somewhere during the 80s when the multicultural boom hit, where people were actually legally allowed to have love with people of other ethnicities and not throw away the love of their lives because the law says so. So let's get into that, shall we? Because in a few minutes my alarm clock's going to go off and gargoyles will be playing in your ear. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. So here we go. As a person of multiculturalness, I have been every racial slur under the bucket. My mom is lighter than me, so I never wanted her to come to school, because the first day she came to school, all my friends, white, black, and Asian, always hollered the same shit, and it carried from grade school to middle school to high school on how white my mom looks. She only looks white because one of her father's fathers was white. So one of her ancestors, one of her great-grandfathers, or even her father's father, or even his father before him, somebody with the last name Rose was white. His mom was black. My grandfather looked white until the day he died. When he died, he looked like a white man from California with a damn tan. Alright? Now, her mother, Cherokee Indian, raised by a black woman named Sarah. All of her sisters, Native American and black, and raised by that. They didn't have really good socializing with their biological mother. So therefore, there's some issues on heritage there. But for the most part, we know that she's Cherokee. And her nickname, of course, is a Powhatan name is Pocahontas. For those who don't know, Pocahontas was Powhatan, not Cherokee, so let's get that straight. And no one really can tell where Sacagawea came from because she was traded from tribe to tribe like the little red-headed stepchild. Now let's go to my father's side. My father's father was black. I didn't meet him until I was like 10 or 11 years old. I only got to know him for 2 years, and then he died from testicular cancer or hernia or some shit in there. They had to remove it, and within a couple of days, he was deceased. My father's mother was Cherokee Indian. Her mother before her was Cherokee Indian. And I will go to great lengths to tell you that she was not too fond of white people. Alright? She had to work for them. She had to go to school with them at one point in her life when they finally decided that Native Americans could go to English-speaking schools and things like that. So, for them, I press forward, and I know that I don't have the right to be a racist because I come from all of them. I've done a video about this before. So, here's how you know if you're a racist. If you look at me and I love your daughter with all my heart and soul, and you somehow or another decide that she can't marry me, no matter how you slice it, and another black guy comes along and she loves him as much as I loved her, and he loves her as much as I loved her, but yet she can't marry either one of us. A white guy comes along, slapping her around, beating her ass, talking to her like dog shit. Oh, because he's white. If she can marry him, then you're a racist. I'm sorry, but you are. Now let's say the script is reversed. Let's say that your daughter is black and you're black. And if you look at me and say, well, he's a half-breed, he's not a real nigger, he's got some white in him, he's got some Cherokee in him, yeah, we don't want you marrying him. So, you're still a racist, but you're black. And I get that from black people all the time, too. Because most black people don't think that I am black, they think that I'm a Mexican. Okay? So, since Mexicans are Native Americans, the only reason they speak Spanish is because Cortez conquered their ass. So the Mayans, the Incans, and the Aztecs language were all killed because a Spanish man from Spain, not a Mexican, a Spanish man from Spain, conquered them and decided that Spanish would be their language, which is why their languages are barely alive now. The elders know their language, the elders that are still breathing and trying to get the language out to the young people so they can learn it, just in case. But for the most part, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incans, they are Native American tribes. They just went further south than everyone who crossed the land bridge and then branched out. All the way to Iceland, there are Native American or First Nation tribes. So look at me, and you're black, and you have a red-boned daughter. There's some white there somewhere, because most natural black people, unless they're out of Egypt, are darker than me. My true color's up here. High yellow. Anyway, and that comes from the white side. My arms are brown because I work in the sun all day and I don't wear long sleeve shirts until wintertime, which this winter has been a bit of a clusterfuck. So, if you are black and your daughter's dating a Mexican and you refuse to let her get pregnant by him, marry him, even though he treats her like fucking gold, like the ground that she walks on, like she shits gold bricks, like he would love her and never cheat on her for the rest of his life, and you won't let him marry her, you, my friend, are a fucking racist. Now let's flip the script again. Let's say that your daughter's still black and she's in love with a white man. A white man with blue eyes and blonde hair who treats her like Jesus put him right in the right place at the right time. He has never mistreated her. He has never called her a nigger. He has never called her out of her name. And he loves that beautiful black berry, the sweet of the juice girl. And yet, you being a black man, refuse to let your daughter marry this white man. Then you are a fucking racist. Let's go Chinese, Japanese, Korean. Let's just straight up call it Asian so we will be politically correct. If you are of those following things, because most of the time in Vietnam, it's really not that big of a deal. Most of the time in South Vietnam, it's not that big of a deal. And maybe South Korea, it's probably debatable. But most of the time, Japan and Vietnam don't really have too many problems with black people marrying into their crime, depending on what part of Japan and Vietnam you're from. You guys can confirm or deny this. I know some Vietnam people. My Some of my best friends were from Vietnam, and what made them my best friends is because I thought they were Chinese, and I insulted them, and then they insulted me back with some half-breed jokes, and we got over that, and we were good. I had a Vietnam family that lived right up the street, the Vu family. One of my favorite university professors, Mr. Yu, was from Vietnam. He liked me, I liked him. Too bad I wasn't a university student. I probably could have learned a lot more, but I'm poor. Anyway, so if you're from Vietnam and you look at a white man or a black man who loves your daughter better than any Vietnamese man or any Chinese man or any Japanese man, let's just say if you're from Asia, of any Asian descent, and you refuse to let your daughter marry someone who looks like me, or someone who looks white, or someone who looks fully black, then unfortunately, my friends, you are a racist. The second that you don't want your child to have a child that's like me, of multicultural descent, your ass is a racist. It's high time you get your head out your ass and get your ass out the closet and just be for real. You are a racist. You can work with other races, but you refuse to let your kids mate with them, but they can be friends, then you are a racist. I'm sorry to put this to you bluntly as I possibly can. I'm trying not to swear. But the fact of the matter is, you know you're a racist. When you get up in the morning and you look at everyone else and think that you're better than them, you are a racist. Especially if it has something to do with them being of color. If you walk in every day, oh, I'm the baddest Indian that ever worked. Look at that white guy. He's that white guy. He's just blonde and he has nothing. He might have more money than me, but he's white. But I got the better job. You're a racist. They're having an issue with an Indian fella from India, the ones with the dots, not the feathers, being a racist at BioWare, making my favorite game, Mass Effect. He's been outed as a racist. BioWare has not fired him that I know of, and I don't care. But, you know, if you're a racist and you're blunt about it, I can respect that actually. You know why? Because I know that there's going to be a knife coming at my throat or in my back. It's when you're an in the closet racist that I can't respect. If you hate me because of the color of my skin, even if I am a good person, well, here's the one unfortunate thing that all humans have to accept. No one asks to be born in the skin color that they're in. That's just the unfortunate fact of life. It's the way it is. It's in the good Lord's design, or the Great Spirit, or Allah, or whatever your religious creed may be. No one asks to be black. No one asks to be white. Although I will say, you're probably a bit more gifted if you're actually white, or if you're actually Asian, like full blood. You might be a little bit more gifted because people aren't going to follow you around in stores very much. Except now that South Korea has fucked up, and excuse me, not South Korea, North Korea has fucked up by killing one of their own in a Malaysian airport. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Asian people from many Asian countries to go places because people are going to examine their hands. And it's just like Margaret Cho said about SARS. That's right, SARS. Or SARS. M1, M4, whatever the hell that disease is that supposedly started in Asia, and it's a severe Asian racist syndrome. Yeah, SARS. So, since they with that, it was like everybody when this happened, when Asian people had SARS and brought it to America. And no, I'm not specifically saying all Asian people had SARS, but everybody started walking around with masks in Asia, and everybody started walking around in masks in Canada and the United States and everywhere else because no one really can determine where the hell SARS originated from, but they know that an Asian person had it first, supposedly, so everybody got SARS, severe Asian racist syndrome. Alright? Now, thank you, Margaret Cho, for that, and if you still want to have a baby, I'm down. Then we can teach the world how to have a baby and make sure that he's not racist. Anyway, providing that you're really down with that, Margaret, I'm only like 2 years younger than you. If you can have a younger man, I am set to go. And I might be really well endowed, but I really don't know because I never measure my dick. But anyway, that's another racist issue that I want to bring up. A lot of people assume that most black men are well endowed and they may be watching too much porn, and there are a few selective choices of people who are well endowed, and I don't think your race or your shoe size has a damn thing to do with it. Most of that shit is genetics and science. And besides that, they have pills now to help your little shit become big shit. So if you're looking at a person's penis size and you're judging them on that, that also unfortunately makes you a racist. So, you know, here's the thing. The best way to not be a racist is to stop thinking about being a racist. To stop saying, I don't like this person because they're black. That's step number one right there. But the real step number one is that admitting that you are racist helps you realize the racial shit that you do. So if you're going around and talking racial shit and you're like, oh, I hate this guy because he's black, or every time I see a black person, the first thing that comes to my head is this fucking nigger, you know, yeah, you're a racist. And on the other side of that script, if you're a black person and the first thing that comes to your head when you see a white person, you go, oh, the fucking honky, I don't know who, or that fucking cracker. Again, I don't know who came up with these names. They were names that existed when I was a kid, and I witnessed blacks and whites holidays. Hell, I watched the Jetsons, man. Excuse me, not the Jetsons, the Jeffersons. Because George Jefferson was forever calling Mr. Bentley and Tom and Helen honkies and zebras. And when I was a kid, someone actually called me a zebra in school after seeing my mom. So yeah, I've been a zebra. Hi, Lenny Kravitz. Anyway, you know, I'm sure he's been one too. But the thing is that, you know, people don't if you're not mixed, you kind of don't have to worry about that kind of shit. You know, you don't have to worry about being called a half-breed or chief. And I tell you guys that story that I don't think the guy was racist. I think he was just annoying. Because he did it on purpose to keep calling me chief. I've never gotten over that shit, to be honest. I've never gotten over that shit because to me, chief hurts me more than the word nigger. So, if you're going to piss me off, calling me chief is a step in the right direction for a fist burger to the face. Anyway, if you're going around and you're black and you're calling people honkies or you're calling them chiefs or chinks, you're racist. If you're white and you're going around calling people gooks, niggers, slopes, wetbacks, you're a fucking racist. And if you're an Asian and you're going around hollering gaijin, guaylo, I forgot how you say nigger in Japanese and Chinese, but it does exist. And if you're Native American and you're going around, I hate pale-faced people, etc., you're all racist. So here's my request. Please, try to call people by their name. Here's a better request. For all you people who are making these virtual reality games, alright? I would like you guys to contact me so that I can design a game where we could put each person of a different ethnicity in a video as the opposite ethnicity so that they can walk for 2 hours in this game in the shoes and hear every fucking racial slur the ethnicity of that person is. And it might change their tune. Because I honestly, truly, to God, think that if a white person could walk a mile in a black person or a slave's shoes, or if a white person could walk 1,000 miles in a Native American's moccasins and having bullets shot at them where you only have bows and arrows and the thunderstick is just eating your asses up, or an Asian person who's also going through some racial shit, or anybody that's going through racial shit. So they program, alright, so you're a white man, you come in, let's let you be, for the first hour, let's let you be an Asian man. And how weak they try to make Asian men seem. Oh, and then after that first hour, let's make you a black man. So that covers those two, which would technically also cover Mexicans because Mexicans are Native Americans and Native Americans are Asian. So if that covers that, then there won't be a big fucking stank about how many racial slurs can you take before you take those damn goggles and there's garbage. Anyway, this thing just died. Okay, well, my camera's glitching, so I need to hurry up and finish this off. So, if we could do that, we may be able to change the world one person at a time through video games. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. And in closing, if you want to do something fun to try being against racists, why don't you play Mass Effect Saga, the first one, all the way through. Try being a man once, try being a woman, and then be of color. And you will learn that all humans are racist. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2. Be seeing you. My last video is coming up really, really quickly.